Good evening. It's a Friday night. It's not one of our normal nights. What we did last night was that we put together, myself and some of the other team that works in the background here at Restore Live. What we did is that we've been doing some research over the course of the week, and we've been looking at a specific issue. And what it is, I mean, we've came to a conclusion on the issue that we've been looking at, and you know, we'll let this run for a while. We'll give a bit of context, and as we say it on our stream, that it's breaking news. And what we're going to do is that we're going to show something that we believe that most of the Northern Ireland public do not know at this time. And yeah, the numbers are doing very, very well. Just looking across the different platforms here, is that the numbers are going up. And I'm going to ask you to stay with us. I'm going to ask you to share the stream, share it amongst your friends, your family, anybody with an interest in unionism, Northern Ireland unionism, anybody with an interest in the United Kingdom. what we're going to ask you to do is to share this broadcast out to your friends and family in order that we can bring as many people on the stream as humanly possible, in order that everyone can see with evidence what it is that it's about to unfold. So just to give a bit of context, the Northern Ireland Protocol, that's when on the 1st of January of next year, of January 2021, what happens is that as part of this protocol, there's effectively a border in what I call the North Channel, others call it the Irish Sea. And what we're going to end up with is that we're going to end up with, and I don't see anything changing between now and then, but we're going to end up with a complete divergence from Northern Ireland away from the rest of the United Kingdom in terms of trade, in terms of having our goods brought to Northern Ireland. I mean, we're an integral part of the United Kingdom. And the Act of the Union in 1801, what it stipulates in Article 6 that there should be no bounties or no tariffs between any constituent part of the United Kingdom. But yet in January the 1st of next year, that this is a real and present danger that there will be tariffs on goods, which makes Northern Ireland, not like the rest of the United Kingdom. I mean, we are different in terms of our trade. So we're a lesser part of the United Kingdom than anywhere else, whether that be Scotland, whether that be Wales, or whether that be England. And I guess the real question is right now is that, our politicians, the politicians here in Northern Ireland, the politicians that have been negotiating what is going on and what is happening. I mean, we've seen that they've spent a lot of time talking to the Conservative Party, talking to the Irish government. Having their input into even the EU in terms of what it is that's coming down our line. And there's much confusion right now about what has been agreed and who has agreed particular things. I mean, in our news today, and I'm just going to pop up a little picture which will show this here. In our news today, we had a newsletter article where Jeffrey Donaldson, he said that Arlene Foster isn't agreeing with this border in the North Channel, with the divergence in terms of Northern Ireland being separate from the rest of the United Kingdom in terms of trade, and with the tariffs that are going to be placed on our goods. I mean, what Jeffrey Donaldson said this morning was that in the newsletter, in the newspaper article that I looked over, he said that the DUP they're together in this. They're standing strong in this, and what they're doing is that they're opposing outright any prospect of a border in the North Channel, any prospect of a separation from Northern Ireland with the rest of the United Kingdom. And rightly so. If Jeffrey is right, and if Jeffrey is speaking those words, not with a forked tongue, but if Jeffrey is speaking those words, and those words are absolutely right, well, I would like to see actions, but not words. And I could tell you something that I would like to see. And in fact, on Monday evening on our stream, I had mentioned this. I had mentioned that if this is being put into place, and it's been put into place over the heads of unionists, and it's been put into place even though that we, the people of Northern Ireland, we made up the part of the 17.4 plus million people that voted for Brexit, that voted to leave the dictatorial ways of the EU. We made up that number, and we should not be second-class citizens in terms of our democracy, in terms of our vote. And if the DUP and if Jeffrey Donaldson is right, and they're not just playing lip service to this, well, you see, I would expect the DUP to be opposing this, not just in their words, but also in their deeds. But the real question is that do their words match with what they are doing in the background? On our stream on Monday, well, what I call for, and this is a logical thing to do. Well, you see, if this is being railroaded in over the heads of the British Unionist people in Northern Ireland, even though that we were part of that 17.4 plus million, even though that the democratic decision was that we all leave the EU as one United Kingdom. That's what David Cameron says. That's how the Brexit referendum was framed. It was framed that there would be no negotiations, no renegotiations, and if the people decide to leave, well, we we would be leaving the EU. That's what David Cameron said. So I expect my vote to be honoured. And if my vote isn't being honoured, and if my vote is going to be a second-class vote in terms of what the rest of the United Kingdom may or may not get, and we'll talk about that later. But you see, if my vote isn't being honoured, and not just my vote, but the people of Northern Ireland's votes aren't being honoured, then what I would expect that for our political leaders to withdraw their support from any cooperation with the EU, because we've left. The vote said that we'd left. So I would expect them to withdraw any cooperation with the EU, number one. And number two, the part of the EU which is in Southern Ireland, and that part of the EU being the Irish Republic, I would expect them to withdraw support until such times as their electorate, the DUP electorate, until their votes would be honoured, until their voters, their voter base, would not be treated as second-class citizens. Now ask yourself the question, is it right that we won the referendum? We won the referendum. So how come that we are being separated from the United Kingdom? And this clear and present danger, there were only a few days to go, and it was from the 1st of January in 2021. Well, let's just hear what a man had to say from England, a guy called Ben Habib. I'd like you to listen to this video, and then we'll move on, and we will get to expose, and we'll get to talk about the thing that we're here to talk about this evening. That's very, very important issue, and this will unfold to everybody. So again, I'd like to ask everyone to share on your screen, share far and wide, because this, I promise you, is going to be a very interesting show. So I'd like for you to firstly listen to Ben Habib, and listen carefully to what Ben had said, because Ben is saying exactly what we have been saying for a very, very long time. And it doesn't take a rocket scientist to work it out. And I'm very, very sure that the legal minds in the DUP actually understand this full well. And then we'll ask the question, why are they not acting upon this? Because this is a very serious situation. This, my friends, is the breakup of the United Kingdom in its embryonic form. A domino effect, which would firstly take down Northern Ireland, then Scotland will fall next, and then Wales will demand much of the same. Is this a divide and conquer strategy? Are our own politicians actually in on this strategy? Well, only time will tell. But listen to Ben Habib first.
16th of September this year, the Prime Minister told us that he'd had one hand tied behind his back when he negotiated the Northern Irish Protocol, and that he was going to bring a new internal market bill that would undo the offensive aspects of that protocol. He said that the internal market bill would get rid of the Irish sea border, and it would get rid of the application of EU state aid law in Northern Ireland. Up until 2 weeks ago, that remained a crucial thing for the Prime Minister to deliver. And then last week, Michael Gove got up in the House of Commons and he said he'd reached an agreement with his counterpart in the EU that prevented the creeping of EU state aid law from Northern Ireland into Great Britain. And he managed to get rid of the need for declarations on goods travelling from Northern Ireland to Great Britain. But actually what he did was confirm that EU state aid law would apply in Northern Ireland. He confirmed that there would be declarations required on goods going from Great Britain to Northern Ireland. Moreover, he confirmed that there will be an office in Northern Ireland for EU officials to judge whether we've complied with our obligations under the protocol. The Prime Minister has completely collapsed on Northern Ireland. This is the beginning of the end of the Union of the United Kingdom. Make no mistake, that is precisely what is happening here. And Sturgeon will be very emboldened by these steps. When she gets a victory next year, she probably will in the Scottish elections, she will point to Northern Ireland as an example of steps taken to become independent. Unless the Prime Minister wakes up very quickly, he will find that he has presided over the breakup of the Union of the United Kingdom that has existed since 1707. Please, Boris, wake up.
If the Prime Minister doesn't waken up very, very quickly, he will have presided over the breakup of the United Kingdom. Please, Boris, waken up. Please, to our DUP, waking up? I mean, does our DUP not understand the gravity of the situation? Do they not understand what is happening here? Do they not understand that I mean, the EU, very, very shortly, they're moving into Northern Ireland, the constituent part of the United Kingdom, and they're going to be dictating what it is that we can do and how it is that we can do it. And as Jim Allister put it, I'd like you firstly to listen to Jim Allister. I mean, I'll not steal Jim's thunder. I'll let Jim, who's a barrister of law, who's a learned man, and I'll let Jim Allister explain it for himself. And once we do this, we'll move on to exposing what it is that we found.
What this regulation does is it removes the caveat about the rest of the United Kingdom. It now makes it a criminal offence to trade on an item such as this within the United Kingdom. That is no technical or non-policy issue. That is a fundamental outflow from the protocol. Because what that is declaring is that, courtesy of the protocol, Northern Ireland and the United Kingdom are now so separated that the rest of the United Kingdom is a non-EU third country, an alien jurisdiction, in the words of this order. That we're no longer integral within the United Kingdom. We are now criminalising trade within the United Kingdom. And why are we doing that? Why is the DUP minister asking us to do that? Because the DUP are now promoters of the protocol. Without the protocol, you wouldn't have this order in front of you. Now, the junior minister managed to speak to us for 10 minutes or more and never once mentioned the protocol. Why? Because they don't want the public to know that they're in the business of legislating under and for the protocol. But you can't hide it. Just read the explanatory note of this statutory instrument. The statutory rule will ensure Northern Ireland remains aligned with EU rules in these areas in accordance with the protocol. The protocol is the driver of this statutory instrument, and its destination is to criminalise trade on these issues within the United Kingdom, because this statutory instrument regards the rest of the United Kingdom as an alien place, as a non-EU third country, whereas we are regarded under the protocol as under EU jurisdiction. I continue to be appalled that those who should know the issue refuse to see it and will promote the very protocol that they claim to oppose.
The DUP continues to legislate for the protocol and under the protocol, which makes Northern Ireland as part of the EU, which treats the rest of the United Kingdom as an alien jurisdiction to the EU. Now remember those words. Now I'm going to pop up a little picture here from Jeffrey Donaldson this morning when he spoke in the Belfast newsletter, and I would like for you to just look at the caption at the bottom, and I'll read it for you. A DUP statement on Monday night contradicted what Arlene Foster had said, but Sir Jeffrey Donaldson said that Mrs. Foster had approved that statement. So Jeffrey Donaldson is saying that Arlene Foster what she's actually doing is that she's against the protocol here. That she's not in the business, as Jim Allister had said, of promoting the protocol and of legislating for and under the protocol. Now, I would like to just read from the actual document, the actual article coming from the newsletter. Just bear with me for 2 seconds. So Jeffrey insisted that Mrs. Foster's comments to Sky just a few weeks ago did not relate to the prospect of a customs border in the Irish Sea. We've rejected that completely, and we will continue to oppose vigorously any move to create a customs border in the Irish Sea, because it would be harmful for businesses, but also it would drive up the cost to the consumer of Northern Ireland, and that is unacceptable, said Jeffrey. Jeffrey goes on to say that Arlene was very clear that we have and continue to oppose the elements of the Northern Ireland Protocol that would require a customs border in the Irish Sea. That has consistently been our position, and that position won't be changing. That position, it won't be changing, said Jeffrey. Stay with us on this, stay with us. And as we go, we're going to show something quite to the contrary. You know, whilst their words are good and they seem good, their actions are completely different. Who remembers just a moment ago what Jim Allister had said, that they work to legislate for and under the protocol that puts us in the EU and takes us away from the rest of the United Kingdom, and as Ben Habib had said, that puts in place a domino effect which would collapse the rest of the United Kingdom. Now, I've got to ask myself a question, and the question is this the plan of the Conservative Party, Boris Johnson and co? Probably. Is this the plan of the DUP? Have the DUP bought into this? I'll let you make your own decision when we come to the end of this broadcast. So I'd like, for just one moment, I would like to now play you another little video just to remind everyone what it is that Arlene Foster had said some time ago, before there was any real and present danger with a protocol being implemented. Now, this was after the time frame when Nigel Dodds and Arlene Foster, when Theresa May approached them, and Theresa May asked them to really sign up to divergence between Northern Ireland and the rest of the United Kingdom. Well, on a Tuesday a few Decembers ago, they disagreed, and they says, no, we couldn't give our support to that. And by the Thursday, they had actually signed up to this. Now, they will argue that they didn't sign up to this. Well, look, that's neither here nor there. What you've got to do is you've got to judge what is happening today and what we're about to show you. So you've got to judge for yourself, is the DUP to be trusted? Are the DUP saying one thing in public for the optics, and are they doing something completely different behind the scenes? Well, you can make your own decision. We can lay out the evidence as the evidence unfolds. And tonight we've got some people coming on the stream once we finish presenting this evidence, to show you that what we believe, that there's something very sinister going on. I'm going to ask the question. I'm going to ask everyone from within the Northern Ireland community to ask yourself a question. Now, I realise that we broadcast this across the United Kingdom tonight. We broadcast this on a channel which goes out to the rest of the United Kingdom, and normally we keep it specifically for talking to the people of the United Kingdom and bringing people from the rest of the United Kingdom on our stream to tell us what's happening in their areas and what their experiences are. But tonight we've went live far and wide, and we've done this for a specific reason, in order that people can see that politicians, whilst they say one thing, they do something contrary to what it is that they're saying. So I would like just to remind you what Arlene Foster had said just it was just pre last December. It was pre the new decade, New Deal approach, which came into being on January of 2020. So let's just listen to Arlene Foster, and I'll highlight the key words for you at the very end of this.
Willing to accept any checks across the North Sea, even if they are of a regulatory nature, not customs checks?
No, and it's been very clear all along that has been our one red line, that we cannot have either a customs border down the Irish Sea or a regulatory border, because that would make us separate from the rest of the United Kingdom. And that doesn't work from a constitutional perspective, and it doesn't work from an economic perspective either.
What if there was some political declaration that, OK, we have to agree to the possibility of checks, but they'll never be used? There's no way that they can add some language that would make you happy with any kind of extra checks?
No, because of course that would impede the constitutional integrity of the United Kingdom.
Any border in the North Channel, it would impede the constitutional integrity of the United Kingdom. So mark that Arlene Foster understands fully that any border placed in the North Channel, any tariffs on goods, any bounties, contrary to the Act of the Union 1801, which stipulates in Article 6 that there should be no bounties or tariffs between any constituent part of the United Kingdom to and from. That's whether those goods are coming from Wales, Scotland, or England to Northern Ireland, or the other way from Northern Ireland across the water. Coincidentally, most of our trade goes across the North Channel into the rest of the UK, and it is the height of absolute bonkers to be putting any divergence in terms of our trade to our biggest market, is the truth of the matter. So, and you heard what Jeffrey Donaldson said earlier, that that would create big problems, huge problems for business if this was ever to be the case. Now stay with us and keep following us, because we're taking you in a direction, and what we want to do is that we want to lay out the evidence so that people can see for themselves that whilst politicians, whilst they say one thing, that they do something complete the opposite of what it is that they're saying. Now, here's me about to put in a little, I'll call it a disclaimer here, or let's just say an outreach to, let's say, the DUP. This is an outreach. If what I'm saying is wrong, if I'm wrong, if I've misjudged this, if the people that has done the research in the background here, looking across articles, listening to what people has been saying, watching our news, looking at the newspaper reports, listening to foreign powers like the Irish government, what it is that they say, what it is that the EU say, what it is that the British government say. If that when we put this jigsaw together, if we are wrong, it's a genuine concern from us. We're logical enough people, as this stream might just show, that we're logical enough, we're rational enough to look at the evidence that's in front of us and to assess the evidence and to put the jigsaw together and to understand where the trajectory is going, where that our politicians and our political system is taking us. You see, this is what we do. We go over things meticulously and we fully understand before we make any claims. So I ask the DUP, if you think that I'm wrong, if you think that we're wrong, well, come and talk to us. Come on our stream. We'll do a stream on Monday evening and dispute what it is that we've laid out, dispute what it is that we've said. But anyway, there is more to come. There's a lot more to come, as this will show very, very shortly. So I would like now to, I'll just go down, and this is a very, very serious thing, that on the 1st of January in 2021, a border in the North Channel, creating a difference between the rest of the United Kingdom and Northern Ireland, an integral part of the United Kingdom, and as we've shown, which puts Northern Ireland, as Jim Allister, a barrister, a man that understands law, has said that we would be more in the EU than we are in the United Kingdom. And as Ben Habib had said, that this would put in place a domino effect whereby Scotland will demand exactly the same, and then Wales will demand the same. Well, you see, we have been saying this for a very long time. And it's not as if the DUP don't understand this. Or maybe they don't. Maybe they don't understand this. Now, at this point in time, what I would like to also ask, and this is for the people that's on our stream, and this is just something that I want you people, to picture in your mind's eye. Look, there's a lot of comments I see on the stream tonight, And I'm glad that the people are here and the people are following. But we'll come to the point where what we will do is we'll publish some of the comments as we go. But what we have to do is that we have to get this out. We have to show people what it is that we've uncovered and what it is that we believe that is happening. So we'll do that first before we come to the comments. So as I flip down the screen, now, this is how serious this is. Whenever, just a few days ago, whenever the SNP, the so-called Scottish Nationalist Party, whenever they heard that Northern Ireland would be part of the single EU market in terms of their trade, well, you see now they're demanding exactly the same. So this supports what we are saying. This supports that the Scottish nationalists already are demanding the same as what Northern Ireland is having. And it wasn't as if the Conservatives didn't know this from way back, December 2018. It wasn't as if the DUP doesn't know this, because personally, I've consistently told them. Other people have consistently told them. But seemingly, and we will show this and prove this, seemingly, it doesn't matter. The DUP, as we will show, are actually working within this. And as Jim Allister said, that they last week in the Northern Ireland Assembly, there was a vote that was taken. And there was 2 people that voted against the implementation of this protocol. And those 2 people were Jim Allister himself and another man called Jim Wells, who was part of the DUP. Now, I realise that there was another vote this week, but focus on last week's vote, that the entire DUP party, the MLS, the members of the Legislative Assembly, the people that you put in power, well, they're voting to annex you away from the rest of the United Kingdom. Now, to me, that is totally unacceptable. And if you're a DUP MLA, and if you've done this, and if your party forced you into this, well, you see, you've an obligation to the people that elected you, that put you in power, to serve and protect them, to defend, to protect and enhance what it is that the people that put you there. You have an obligation to come out of the DUP, to walk away from the DUP, to expose what it is that the DUP are doing. And we'll come to that in a minute. But I'm just saying that if you are a unionist, are you going to have it on your conscience? And this is to the MLS. And I'm appealing to the Ulster Unionist Party too. But are you people going to have this on your conscience? That what you have done is that you have put in place the breakup of the United Kingdom in its embryonic form, in a domino effect, in a way that Scotland is going to demand and will successfully achieve exactly what it is that Northern Ireland is hurtling towards. You have an obligation as an MLA to stand against this, to whistleblow, to stand up to the leaders of your parties and to say, no, enough is enough. We're drawing a line, and this cannot happen under my watch and in my name. So that's me appealing to the MLAs, because we're going to constantly remind you of it if this happens. And this is what we're about to show you. So 2 days ago, let's go back to Monday. On Monday, we done a live stream to the people of Northern Ireland. And if you care to go back and if you care to look at what it was that I had been saying, is you see, I had spoke about a coin. And what we did was we framed Monday evening's event about taking the coin. Too many people taking the coin. You know, money, funds, blood money. Money, you know, Judas Iscariot. He betrayed Jesus. He took the 30 pieces of silver. The coin, you know, people taking the coin, maybe not knowing where that coin's coming from or what that coin is going to be used for. Some people take the coin, and let me explain to you why. It's because, you see, there was years and years of underfunding in British unionist communities. The Newton Arch Road, the Shankill Road, right throughout, and this is just a few that I'm mentioning, but right throughout Northern Ireland, unionist communities have been underfunded, and they're in desperation. I mean, I can remember taking a bus tour through Belfast, and I can remember going up the falls on the bus tour and then coming down the Shankill. And when you looked and assessed those two areas, you could see that one area, being the Nationalist Republican Falls Road area, it had money plied upon it in its abundance. And then you come down the Shankill and you noticed a lot of wasteland, places run down through lack of investment over the years. So when the offer of money comes along, do we blame anybody for taking that money? No matter where that money's coming from. Well, no, you can't blame anybody for taking money that is going to be ploughed into their communities for the benefit of a community. I mean, these communities, like most communities around the United Kingdom today, they suffer from social deprivation. The lack of employment, the lack of people, the lack of education prospects for and this has been proven by and written about time after time by Dr. Edward Cook, showing that there's disadvantage within these areas. And you can't really blame anybody for taking money. But I'm going to say something here. When you're taking money, you've got to be very, very careful about where that money comes from. Because if that money is coming from a place, a source, which means you most harm, you see, they say that those that take the shackles are bound by the shackles. They say that those that take the coin are governed by that coin, are directed by that coin, are dictated to by that coin. Otherwise, that coin stops. And that's the unfortunate fact, that coin stops. So first and foremost, do we blame anybody for taking it? No. But what we're about to show here is where that coin is coming from. On Monday evening also, I had suggested that if I were in the DUP hierarchy right now, and as Jeffrey Donaldson said, if the DUP are really against this Northern Ireland Protocol, then what they should be doing is they should be withdrawing their support from all participation with the EU, all participation on North-South bodies. That would be the logical thing to do until the Northern Ireland Unionist electorate, the British Unionist people within Northern Ireland, until they are made first-class citizens in their own land. We're being discriminated against right now, and you make no mistake about it, we are being unfairly discriminated against. I voted as part of the 17.4 plus million people that made up the Brexit referendum vote, and my vote seemingly is not as worthy as a vote from Scotland, as a vote from Wales, and as a vote from England. So you see, whenever that's the case, the logical thing to have done would be to protest. That's what you expect of your politicians. That's what you expect of the people that you put in power to serve and most importantly, to protect you. But you see, the DUP, in my honest opinion, are not doing any protecting. Now, I'm not just going to say that this is a charge that I'm going to levy at the DUP, because we've all seen what the Ulster Unionist Party has been capable of in the past in saying that. And this is something that I will highlight very shortly. But I did see that Robin Swan had spoke about the hospitals being overwhelmed at the minute. And he says the real reason why that's happening, and I tell you what, Robin, I thank you for telling the truth about this, but the real reason why the hospitals are being overwhelmed at the minute is because of years of underfunding in the hospitals. So we're going to bank that, and we'll come back to that at another stage. But thank you, Robin Swan, for having that attack of conscience and for standing up for some of the things that is coming out of that tell-lie vision on a daily basis. We need more unionists standing up for the truth, but not just in a little bit of it, in its entirety. That's what we expect of our politicians. We expect that when we elect politicians, we expect them to do the right thing by the people, to put the needs of their people before the wants of any ideology. And that's what we expect. So back to these north-south bodies, back to these, what the DUP should have been doing as a protest. The only mechanism right now that is available to them to register a protest is to say that if this is implemented over our heads, then we will have no truck, no participation in any north-south body. And I would just like for the people on the chat this evening to leave a message if you agree with what I'm saying. If you agree that your politicians, the people that you put in power, should have absolutely no truck with north-south institutions or anyone from the Irish Republic until such times as we the Unionist people, the British Unionist people of Northern Ireland, are made first-class voters, first-class citizens, until the DUP's electorate are respected. If you believe that the DUP should walk away from north-south institutions until there's an even playing field reinstalled again, well, just leave your messages on the chat, please, because I believe that they should do. This week, after me suggesting this on Monday, that they should walk away from these institutions, there was one north-south institution meeting which was on our screens today. And that was a plenary session. There was a number that was given to it. Say it was the 25th, and don't quote me on that, but there was a number that was given to it. And today they done a Zoom meeting, and there was this plenary session of the north-south institutions. Do you remember what Jeffrey Donaldson said? And let me just remind you. I'm going to remind you right now. Is Jeffrey Donaldson had said that on a DUP statement on Monday night, it contradicted what Arlene Foster had said, but Sir Jeffrey Donaldson said that Mrs. Foster had approved that statement. And in that statement, I'll recap, in that statement, Jeffrey Donaldson had said that the DUP are completely against the North, or the application of the border in the North Channel, and they're also in complete opposition to the protocol, the Northern Ireland Protocol. Now, Jim Allister, as I've shown you, well, he seems to think different. And Jim Allister has been consistent in highlighting the inadequacies and the unwillingness of our politicians to stand up for British unionism. Now, let's just tell you the seriousness of this, is that we have never, ever been as close to losing our stake in the United Kingdom, our place in the United Kingdom, the right of the Northern Ireland people to be British Unionists. And what I'm about to show you here, you can make your own decision. Our politicians aren't doing all that they can in order to avert this and in order to stop this from happening. So we're getting to the point here. I'm going to pop up a document, and I'm going to read from the document. And this was a document that came out of, there was two north-south institution meetings this week, and I'll read properly from it in a second. There was one 2 days ago. There was one on Wednesday. And I'm going to read from what was agreed on Wednesday. And then the one that's in the press today is the meeting that happened today. So I'm going to go back to Wednesday here, and I'm just going to read from a few excerpts from this what has been agreed over the past few days, and it has been ongoing, by the way, and this is very important, has been ongoing since, who remembers the New Decade, New Deal approach in January of this year? Who remembers going to the polls on the 12th of December in 2019, and all the people, as many people as humanly possible, got behind the DUP and voted them into office. And not long after, they said that they wouldn't accept this, that, and the other, and they just flipped over, and they accepted all the things that we had begged them, pleaded with them not to accept. And in fact, they conned us, they swindled us, they swindled the people of Northern Ireland to get behind them, to to vote for them, to persuade their friends and their families to vote for them. And then once they got our vote, we didn't matter anymore. It was as if we didn't matter. So I'd like firstly to take you to part of this document. Now, this will take a bit of time for me to read through and to highlight the key points, but this is of real significance. So I'm going to pop up the document here. I'm going to read from it, and I would like you to listen. Okay, so the North-South Ministerial Council 12th institutional meeting, and it was a joint secretariat offices in Armagh, and it happened on the 16th of December on 2020, just a few days ago. So a joint communique. So the 12th North-South Ministerial Council institutional meeting was held at the North-South Ministerial Council joint secretarial offices in Armagh on the 16th of December 2020. The Northern Ireland Executive was represented by the First Minister, the Right Honourable Arlene Foster, MLA, and the Deputy First Minister, Michelle O'Neill, MLA. The Irish Government was represented by the Minister of Foreign Affairs, a man called Simon Coveney, TD. The First Minister and the Deputy First Minister, they chaired the meeting. Now, I'm going to go to paragraph 3 here, or section 3. Now, it says here that the ministers noted that the Council has discussed the implications of the UK withdrawal from the EU for cooperation in each of the North-South Ministerial Council sectors, and that ministers and officials will continue to engage to ensure cooperation is maintained following the end of the transition period. The Council also noted that, now bear with me, I have to change documents here. So the Council noted that senior officials from the Executive Office, the Department of the Taoiseach and the Department of Foreign Affairs will meet regularly to discuss issues arising from the UK withdrawal from the EU and will provide updates of both administrations and the North-South Ministerial Council on a regular basis. So what this paragraph 3 tells us is that Arlene Foster chaired a meeting with Michelle O'Neill just 2 days ago, talking about implementation, as Jim Allister had said, of the protocol on the 1st of January in 2021. Now, I'm going to skip a paragraph here. The Council noted, in fact, I'll read through it, but we're coming to paragraph 5 in a second. But the Council noted that the discussions have taken place on the various new decade, new approach commitments, with a cross-border dimension at North-South Ministerial Council meetings and a bilaterally between ministers. A group of senior officials from both jurisdictions has been established to maintain strategic oversight and progress delivery of the various projects, focusing on the connectivity and the infrastructure, the research and innovation, and the investment in the northwest and border communities. This group will meet regularly and will provide updates on its work to both the administration of the North-South Ministerial Council. Now I'm in paragraph 5 here. So again, what we've established through this document is that Arlene Foster had said to Sky TV in the past few weeks that she was going to be working to implement what is coming down her line in terms of the protocol. And now this document from the North-South Ministerial Council, it tells us that Arlene Foster was exactly on the money when she told Sky TV that. Now, Jeffrey Donaldson is speaking on the contrary in the newsletter, and I'll show you that again in a second, when he says that, no, we're completely opposed to this, and, and we're doing everything we can to try to avert it, but yet what they are doing in the background is that they're in a North-South Ministerial Council group, and they're agreeing to the implementation of a border in the North Channel on the 1st of January 2021. And as Ben Habib said, and as Jim Allister said, Jim Allister says that it puts us more in the EU than it does in the United Kingdom. Ben Habib said, a man from England, another guy that's he's a learned guy, and he says that it's going to put in place the toppling of the United Kingdom in its embryonic form. And as I showed you, the man Blackford from Scotland, where he had said that now Scotland's going to be pushing for exactly the same. So this is where your DUP are leading you. Now, it's not over yet. It's not over yet. We've got the Article 5 in this. Now, this is of great significance. It says that Ministers noted that the Shared Island Initiative and associated Shared Island Fund, now here's the important part, with £500 million to be made available in the period to 2025, has been established by the Irish Government to support investment in the new shared initiatives, including delivery of commitments outlined under the New Decade, New Deal approach. Updates on the various New Decade, New Deal approach commitments with cross-border dimensions will be provided to the future North-South Ministerial Council plenary meetings. Now remember that £500 million is going to be made available from the 1st of January in 2020, the start of this year, not just starting now, the start of this year when the DUP went into the New Decade, New Deal approach with Sinn Féin. This was agreed back then. And the Irish government, do you remember I said, when you're taking a coin, you've got to be very careful about where that coin comes from. The Irish government are giving £500 million to be made available in the period up to 2025. Now that date has huge significance, huge significance. And again, we're raising a lot of stuff here. We're making claims here. We're showing what it says in documentation here. And what it is that we want to do is that if if Jeffrey Donaldson, Arlene Foster, the DUP, if anyone thinks that we are getting this totally wrong, well, I'm inviting you on screen to go public, to talk to the people of Northern Ireland and to explain to them. I mean, I can put some points to you and you can dispute them. You can tell me why I'm wrong. And, if it's wrong, well, we'll accept that we've got it totally wrong. But I don't think that we have. When you take that coin, when you take £500 million from the Irish government, are you owned by that coin? Are you governed by that coin? Do you have to do what that coin tells you? Just in case that coin stops. Where's that money going to? £500 million over 5 years. 2020, 100 million. 5 years, 100 million a year, divided between two communities. Is that like 50 million per community to go into helping out communities? I don't know. People need to be able to answer this. And again, one of the questions that I would ask right now, and I said it at the start of this screen, that, where's the voices from the Orange Order? From our community groups? From people in community leadership right across the unionist community? Where's the voices that is shouting about Northern Ireland being separated from the rest of the United Kingdom? Northern Ireland being linked to the EU more than they're linked to the United Kingdom? Do you know what a unionist is? Do you know what unionism is all about? Do you know what maintaining the union should be? I don't know. Maybe someone would like to give me the definition that is being held by these people of what a unionist should be. How unionists should be maintaining the union, should be fighting tirelessly to defend, to protect, and to enhance that union. Should be going against anyone or anything that seeks to destroy that union. Should not be taking part in anything or anybody or with anyone who seeks to destroy, as Arlene Foster once said, her precious union. Her precious union. I'm going to play, just as a reminder, another clip from Arlene Foster, and we're coming to a close. So, what was the breaking news tonight? The breaking news is there's a huge question, over £500 million over 5 years, coming from the Irish government. Is it even coming from the Irish government? Is it coming from the EU? Is it buying the silence of some people? Because I don't hear people shouting out. You see, There's a lot of people right now that'll be looking at me on a screen and they'll be saying, you know, they can say whatever they want because I have consistently stood up for the union. I have stood against people. I have put myself in the position whereby that there's been whispering campaigns about me. You know, a man came to me in the summer and he told me of what some people within the DUP were trying to do. You see, that's what it means to have friends. That's what it means to have fellow unionists who love Northern Ireland, who cherish the link between Northern Ireland and the rest of the United Kingdom. That's what it means to have people of a like mind. And there are many of those like minds right throughout Northern Ireland. Now, no matter why you like me or you don't like me, no matter why, you know, you like what I'm doing, people, I'm prepared to put, you know, to stand up against these people on your behalf. I'm prepared to expose what it is that they're doing. We've seen in the past what can happen when people within our community has stood up against the establishment. And we'll not go into cases, but Edwin Poots, you're listening to this, and you said, you told me and John Ross what you believed about a certain individual. We remember what you said. In fact, Edwin, you said to us that for God and for Ulster in that order. That's what you said. So, what about Ulster today, Edwin? What about Northern Ireland's place within the United Kingdom? What about the United Kingdom? What about that Union flag? That Union flag, the Union Jack. If Northern Ireland leaves the Union, there will be no more Union. And yet this is what these people are presiding over. And I don't know who's right or wrong. Is Arlene right by saying to Sky TV that she's going to implement this in all its forms? And we did see that last week with the rest of the DUP in the Northern Ireland Assembly, with only Jim Wells and Jim Allister voting against this protocol, and all the rest of the MLAs that you people put into power, put into place, they've all went against the collective will of the Northern Ireland electorate. And that is unforgivable, totally unforgivable. Is Jeffrey right that the DUP are still opposing outright this protocol? Well, if that's the case, I'll expect to hear tomorrow on the press, in the media, on social media platforms, that they're taking nothing more to do with this North-South Ministerial Council that seeks to buy people with the coin, that seeks to govern people with the coin, that seeks to rule people with the coin, that seeks to dictate to people what it is that they can do, what it is that they can say, what union they can be a part of. And it's certainly not the union, that precious union of the United Kingdom. It's the union of the EU. And there's a lot more to come. And we'll not go down, we'll not deviate from what it is that we're here to do this evening, because there's huge implications beyond the 1st of January 2021. So I'm appealing directly to the DUP, the MLAs in the DUP, the MPs, the councillors. You need to choose this day whom and what you will serve. Because right now, you're not serving the people. You're not serving the electorate. Maybe your MLA's wages comes in handy right now when people's businesses are going down the tubes, when people are losing their livelihoods. Your money still flows. Who remembers a situation a few years ago, or just a few months ago, that the Assembly was down for 3 years on full pay? I think it was reduced at one stage. We'll give you that. But look, people, isn't it time that we had the genuine conversation? Isn't it time that we stopped, that we exposed the elephants in the room, that we showed to our people that these politicians do not have what it is you believe in, what it is that many people have fought and died for over the years, what it is that our security services have put their lives on the line to defend and to protect. These people, these politicians, and this is a big claim, these politicians seemingly are walking over the graves and walking over the memories of all those people. And I'm talking about our security services here. I'm talking about our veterans. And I'm not going to discount or disassociate from anything here. I'm talking about people from within communities who, over the years, had stood up for their community when their communities were under attack. And what have our politicians done? What are our politicians doing? Our politicians they're not fit to lace the boots of the many. And I want to begin a process of talking to Mervyn Gibson, the Orange Order, the various loyalists, the community groups, the community leaders. If I'm wrong, tell me. If we're wrong, the people that has done the research, who constantly looks at things, who constantly watches every single word that is coming out of Sinn Féin, the Irish government, the British government, the DUP, the Ulster Unionist Party. Scrutinising politics is one of the straplines of Restore Northern Ireland. And believe me, we are scrutinising every word. So there's the claim, there's the expose, there's the £500 million of coin, which was agreed in the new decade, new deal approach, which is to be implemented over the next 5 years, which is £100 million per year. And where is that money going to? Where is it being split? Let's see exactly where that money's going to. Who's being given that money? And is there conflict of interest? Is this why we don't have any people shouting about what's about to happen? And as I said at the start, do I blame people for taking money? No, everybody needs money. And if you look at the communities between, say, the Shankill and the Falls, you notice the difference between the underinvestment in these areas. But we need to, and I say we, I'm a Shankill Road man myself, and I wouldn't be doing this. I wouldn't be on this screen today shouting about these things if I didn't care. We need to be looking at things, and we need to be demanding that investment on its merits and not having it dangled in front of us like a carrot and a stick approach. 100 million each year to 2025. In business, there's a thing called a 5-year plan. A 5-year plan. I don't know why you've heard of it or not. Already one of those years are away. So now there's a 4-year plan, which is left in place. And as from the 1st of January this year, that 4-year plan, it begins in earnest. I'm going to play you a little video clip from Arlene Foster here. And after the video clip, I'm going to mention some of the words, and then we'll stop. And then what we'll do is we'll go to the live chat, and we'll bring in a guest here who has been sitting, waiting impatiently for the last hour. I didn't think it would take an hour, but there you go. It's taken an hour, but it was something that was worthwhile saying. So one more clip by Arlene Foster, and believe me, we have loads of clips from these people, reminding them of their words, reminding them of what it is that they have said in the past. And I'll just play this clip, and then we'll look at some of the live chat, and then we'll bring in our guest, a man called Stephen Crosbie. So over to Arlene Foster, and we'll be running for another half hour here. So please stay with us, and please let us know, let us know if what you've seen here is informative. If you disagree with what it is that we've been saying, if you believe that Arlene should be working in the North-South ministerial committees, if they should be implementing things towards which Jim Allister has said that what they're doing is they're putting in place, they're legislating for and under the protocol, which is there and which is going to eventually destroy us. You see, that's the question that you have to ask yourself. And I would like for you to tell me whether you understand or you agree with what we're saying. So let's just play another clip from Arlene Foster. We'll briefly mention a few words that she's just said here, and then we'll go by bringing in Stephen. Stephen will introduce himself. We'll go to the live chat. We'll go through some of the chat that has been done. I haven't looked at the live chat this evening because we wanted to explain to the people of Northern Ireland what is going on in the background. So over to Arlene Foster here.
A sensible, a stable way forward with the European Union, because we leave the European Customs Union, we leave the single market. If we then, at the end of the implementation period, do not have the appropriate alternative arrangements in place, we can then opt in as a region of the United Kingdom into these arrangements. If we need to opt in to alignment, we can do so for a period of 4 years. If by the end of that 4 years there haven't been those alternative arrangements coming forward, we can opt in again, or we can leave the alignment at that time. So I think this is a sensible way forward, and it is a serious way forward. We need the consent of the Unionist people here in Northern Ireland and the consent of the Nationalist people, and that is what the Belfast Agreement is based on.
Right. Remember the 4 years that you just mentioned there? What we can do at the end of the implementation period is that we can opt in. We can opt into the EU. And she says after 4 years, we can opt back out again. I laugh. I really laugh at that. And I'll tell you why. Is because, you see, the Northern Ireland Assembly at the end of 4 years, or who remembers what I said a minute ago, a 5-year plan. The 5-year plan started at the start of the new decade, New Deal approach. And the 5-year plan ends when the Irish government money ends in 2025. Remember that, because this is very significant. And Arlene Foster then says that what we can do is that we can opt out. You see, the Northern Ireland Assembly can have a vote and they can opt out of the EU. Who thinks that's going to happen? Isn't it like a coincidence that when the £500 million stops, that they'll come back again and maybe they'll dangle another carrot in front of these people, another £500 million, keeping them in the EU for another 5 years after that. Meantime, the Unionist voters are demoralised. The Unionist voters, the electorate, has been disenfranchised from politics because that's what's been happening over the years through mismanagement of our mainstream politicians ever since I've been a child. These people, they come to your door, they rap your door, they take your vote, and you don't see them again until the next election. This is the way it goes. On constitutional matters, we don't get a say. What about the people-politician partnership that we were trying to set up last year? The DUP certainly haven't taken that. That would be like turkeys voting for Christmas because the DUP have their own agenda. The DUP have their own agenda. And now here's a claim. This is a claim for you. At the end of last year, I was asked by Edwin Poots to submit a paper, myself and John Ross, to submit a paper to the talks process, the New Decade, New Deal. And what was asked of us was that what we could do is that we could perhaps make suggestions that what would be needed for within our own communities, and we could write a paper and submit it to the talks, which we did. And we asked for fully funded Edward Carson centres complete with legal representation that should any British Unionists be subject to sectarianism, ethnic cleansing, any form of aggression from Republicans, trying to push Irishness into areas where it doesn't belong. If this should have happened, would you see, we would have had under what we asked for a go-to place for British Unionists in Northern Ireland, a bit like the Pat Finucane Centre, a place where people are there and they're legally trained to fight for your survival in a meaningful and a proactive way, in a way that defends and enhances and protects the rights of the Northern Ireland people. You see, that's what we asked for. Now, we didn't get it. We didn't get anything. But yet of all, that's what we asked for. Now, I don't think we were included in that £500 million coming from the Irish state. But yet it's a lot of money. That's a lot of money. And I think that could have funded a go-to place for Northern Ireland unionists. You know, when you can't rely on your politicians to fight for your survival in a meaningful, proactive way, how then can you survive? Well, you see, we thought that it was best to put the tools in place that if the politicians didn't protect us, well, we would have had a go-to place in order to seek that protection. Today in 2020, coming to 2021, well, you see, that's not what's on the agenda. What's on the agenda, people, and I have this in writing, by the way, and we'll go into a stream about this. What's on the agenda is that Britain for the British, Ireland for the Irish, and America for the Americans is unchristian, they say, and politically dangerous. It's pernicious, unchristian, and politically dangerous. That is the exact terminology that comes out of a representative of the UN, a representative of the George Mitchell Institute for Global Peace. These are the people that are working between our politicians and our community groupings, and what they're trying to do is they're trying to formulate peace. If you sit and if you listen to these people, you wonder what's in their heads. You know, what they are doing is they're trying to create a togetherness by enhancing one at the expense of another, by demonizing and diminishing one, British unionism, and your right to British citizenship. That's what they're doing. That's what they're doing. And I have this in writing, and maybe our politicians don't know this. Before COVID, pre-COVID, I wrote to Jeffrey Donaldson, and I said to Jeffrey that these people are playing you like a well-tuned fiddle. Well, he disagreed. Well, I stick by those words, that they're still playing them like well-tuned fiddles. And if they think that they're going to be made welcome as past conservative voices, as DUP people, they only have to look at the media, and you'll see what the media are doing with them right now. They're trying to destroy them. They're trying to, demonize, diminish, and destroy them. These left-wing ideologues, these people don't stop. These people don't want reconciliation. These people want outright destruction of Britishness, of the United Kingdom in all its glory, and anyone which would support Britishness and British unionism in Northern Ireland. So there you have it. There you have it. That's the expose, is that our politicians, whilst they're saying one thing, they're working in a complete opposite of that which they're telling the British unionist electorate. Now, here we are. Maybe we'll have some response from the DUP. Maybe the DUP would like to come on our stream on Monday, and maybe they would like to pick through and dispute what it is that we've said, and would like to challenge them on our claims. And if they don't come, well, you see, their silence will speak volumes to the British unionist electorate. So, Stephen, I'm going to bring you in here. Everybody knows you. Bring you onto the screen. This is Stephen Crosbie. Stephen is a man who he was a community worker. He still is a community worker in East Belfast. He's on the board of a community group, and he's worked tirelessly over the years for community in Northern Ireland, and he's a great British unionist. But Stephen, what I would like to just do here before we go on is I would like to pop up the comments, because I see that there's a lot of comments there and I haven't been looking at them. So there's one there from Ian Elliott that I see straight away. Looking for the DUP that we have a pandemic putting us in lockdown. It means it stops protests. Well, look, Ian, you're absolutely right. It stops protests. And you know something, Ian, I'm appealing to you because you're a man that works tirelessly within loyalist communities. I'm appealing to you. Do you appeal to your friends to bring as many people with us to stand against these charlatans that for too many years have been taken for the unionist electorate for granted? Now, if I am wrong, what I want you to do, DUP, I want you to come on and give an account for yourselves. I want you to come on and dispute what I'm saying, and I want you to come on and prove that I am wrong, because I would gladly like to be wrong on this occasion, but I don't think that I am. I don't think that I am. So here we go. Here's another one from, I'm just looking through, our great fathers fought for our union in wars. This is from George Russell. George Russell, you're absolutely right. Absolutely right. And look, I'd like to thank everybody for staying with us in the numbers this evening. The numbers are great. Here's one here from Jim White. That here's what it says here, Stephen. They all need to lose their jobs. They all need to lose their jobs. I'm going back on it. You see, here's Jim Werner here. No amount of money. What's he saying? No amount of money from those who want to destroy us is acceptable. F the cash, no surrender. Jim, I'll discount the bad language, but I'll certainly say no surrender. No surrender. Like our forefathers, Jim. You see, and let me just explain something. As British Unionists, as Protestants, as Unionists, as loyalist people, I don't like to split ourselves up into these labels, but as people from different communities within Unionism, you see, we mean nobody any harm. We have been misquoted, misrepresented, and literally misshown to the world as if that we are the instigators, we are the bad boys, we are the people that don't want peace. Well, you know something? That is wrong. That is totally wrong. There's nothing that I would like more of, and I have many Catholic friends. I have people even in the nationalist community that I talk to, at least we respect each other, because we may have a difference in political opinion, but that's down to me to persuade that person or those people that I am right and they are wrong, and vice versa. And that's the way politics should be. We don't have to, kill each other. We don't have to be looking, as in the words of the song, we don't have to be looking down the barrel of a gun to expand on our political, what it is that we believe. We don't have to do that. And these politicians are creating the circumstances whereby, and I heard it from Arlene Foster and Michelle O'Neill in this game, in this play today, that whilst they sit in the North-South Ministerial Conference agreeing things, they're on your news and they're creating that old sectarian divide. For too long, people, have we been played by these people for too long. And you know something? I would like to ask you people to engage with your friends and your family and bring as many people as is humanly possible to restore, and let's together restore the right of the Northern Ireland people to be first-class Unionists, to be first-class British people within the United Kingdom. And look, we may be at the gate, the enemy's at the gate, the battle's at the gate right now, but it's never too long, or never too... we can't turn that battle around, let's just say. Stephen, I'm just going to pop up a few more comments, and then I would like you to give your thoughts on what you've just heard there.
Okay.
So there's Kyle Carruthers there. They came back as soon as it got reduced. You see, I'm just reading through this here. I'm speaking for myself. Collapse the whole shenanigans now. I'm just looking through here. So there's Noel Cummings. There's a new man too. 500 million could keep a lot of people quiet. Noel, honestly, where's the voices? Where's the men and the women of Northern Ireland shouting about this border in the North Channel right now? Where's your community leaders? Where's the Orange Order? Where are all these people? Where are all these voices? I want to hear those voices. I want to hear those voices standing up for what is rightfully ours. Listen, I was born a British person in Northern Ireland, as were you, as were the people that are on our screen, and no one, most especially when we won the vote, when our democratic vote meant that we should be leaving the EU with the rest of the United Kingdom. Our democratic vote should be upheld. Why should we become second-class British citizens in our own land? You see, these people are derailing our democracy right before our very eyes. And this is it. We need to ensure that it stops right here now. And you know something, people? I know me, I know Stephen, and there's a lot of people that work in the background, and we'll bring them on our screen, as the time goes on, and we'll show you who works in the background here. The people that work tirelessly to look through newspaper articles, the TV, what's being said from different places, and they're collating information in order that it can be presented here. There's a good team behind us, and you know something? I am so glad that we have the dedication of these people to scrutinise these things. And there you have it. We've just shown the DUP to be saying one thing, but to be doing another, and to be claiming one thing and doing completely the opposite, and yet their video says that they're doing this thing. Look, it's just a big mix mash of it's waffle, it's piffle, it's spin, it's swindle. And if you want to prove me wrong, DUP, you need to come on and you need to prove me wrong. And I'm not here to fight with you. You know, we got behind you last year. We elected you people, and we don't expect to elect people to have them do this on us. We really don't. So absolute traitors, all of them, you know, there we go. All of them, 2 of them, traitors, but all but 2 of them. And that was Jim Allister and that was Jim Wells, by the way. I'm just going to go through some more. All we are doing is listening, talk about what we should be doing. You're doing no more than those useless wasters. Okay, thanks very much, Glenn Spence. I'm putting myself out here to try to explain to you, and you think that I'm doing no more than anybody else. Well, you're entitled to that opinion. No breaks required in Sinn Féin gravy train. Gus McLeod. Now, let me just see what Gus has said here. Where do the unionists go from here? Because they can't continue to give away to the IRA and expect to come out of this with their heads held high. Totally agree. Totally fed up with words. Glenn, I mean, Glenn Spence, I understand your frustration that you're fed up with the words. You need action. But you know something that I would say to people, that we don't want to enter a position where we cause conflict in this country. I mean, too many people have went down different roads and ended up in Roselawn over conflict, and we can work smart. We don't have to work in a way that is to the detriment of our communities. We can work, we can use weapons of words, we can put our politicians behind the 8 ball, but we need people behind us to be able to do this. So Glenn, all I'm saying is that, you know, just calm down a bit. We know that this is totally unpalatable for you and for many other people, but believe me, there's a way to do this and there's a way not to do this. We've seen too much suffering within our communities over the years to go back to people losing their lives, people being imprisoned, the PSNI and the security service being used to put down ordinary people. And let's face it, we have the moral high ground here because we are the victims. We have had our democracy removed and we are second-class citizens, and we need to fight in a way that we show and that we prove and that we get recompense for being labelled and being used and abused and then dispensed with when we don't matter. Stephen, over to you. You speak away and I'll keep popping some of these comments up on the screen. What do you think?
Okay, John, thanks. First of all, thank you very much for inviting me on, and thank you for the viewers who are commenting as well. Sorry, just a little bit of my own background. I'm originally from East Belfast, involved in voluntary community work. I got the Queen's Award for Voluntary Community Service. Now living in Bradford, West Yorkshire, and I'm involved in the leadership of a new party called the 5 Star Direct Democracy Party. I would suggest, and in fact, Mr. Spence, Glenn Spence, if you want to check our website, it's 5dd.uk. You're correct. You know, we can all complain on social media. And it's no more than a whinge section, but we as a party, within 18 months of formation, we have already got 3 councillors elected in England. We have stood in Northern Ireland in the past, and it's certainly our intention to cover seats throughout the whole of the UK. We're not a local Northern Ireland only party. We do see the big picture. We are unionists, and that's maybe a question that we can all ask the unionist politicians that we can meet. Are they loyal to the crown or the half crown?
Stephen, Stephen, can I just say this here now over to Glenn? Glenn, look, you're speaking sensibly right there. Is that John? I think we all get the picture of where the DUP are taking us. So instead of spouting non-stop, can we talk of where the unionist people of this country go from here? Can we talk of organising in a way to make a stand? Can we talk of actions and not words? Yes, that we can. Right? Okay. In my honest opinion, we've got Stephen here on the screen. We've also got the TUV, and both of those parties right now. What they they will stand up for British unionism. They will fight fearlessly, tirelessly for British unionism. Stephen will provide a mechanism whereby the people can organise even as independents within their own areas. So Glenn, down to you, whatever area you come from, look, what you do is you organise with people within your communities, and you get together people that you want to go forward and elect you, or that you want to elect, and get your communities together, speak to your communities, engage as many people within your communities as possible. And if we want to turn this around, if we want to avert this, what we need to do is that we need to listen to people like Stephen, because they will provide a platform whereby that they will help, they will engage with independent people that want to go forward for elections. Now, we're still waiting on the DUP to come and to tell us that we are wrong. They are sorry. We've got it wrong. They've got it wrong. Whatever happens, or are they just going to keep plowing down this road? Well, we'll know this within the next few days. But look, Glenn, I realise that we're all really frustrated right now. And look, this is what it's all about. Stephen will tell. Stephen, I would like you just to cut, and I'd like to give you a bit about the party at the end. So, as a direct democracy party, let's not get into the nitty-gritty of that. Get into how it is that you would help people within communities stand as independents, in order that when they get elected, then everybody can come together as one and stand together and provide proper representation for the people of Northern Ireland. Over to you, Stephen.
Okay. Yeah, Glenn and so many other people who do see that the DUP are betraying. Certainly, the evidence that John has put forward here tonight with his research team, if this is a true and accurate document that John has shown, it's certainly showing our politicians to be bought, basically, and that they're corrupt. We unfortunately see a situation where every election time there's Project Fear, and people vote for the party that they dislike least, rather than voting for a party. The only message that the DUP and any other party who claim to be unionist are going to stand up and take any notice is not the complaining on social media, but it is joining a political party, or alternatively, if you stand as an independent. But you need to start today. You need to be getting into your community and earning their respect. You can call yourself a shadow councillor, and you can start the very, very basics. Deal with the street lights which are going out in your own neighbourhood. There are areas where there's antisocial behaviour. You can identify the potholes. I know this is not the big grand scheme of things, because we obviously have a constitutional issue at stake here. But the only way that you're going to be recognised and winning the respect of people, and people don't realise you're just a crack nut, is that you win their confidence by delivering when the other elected politicians are not delivering. There are no shortcuts at all. Okay, you get yourself set up on a social media page. You can promote yourself that way, but nothing beats getting a good pair of shoes, plenty of leather on them, get leaflets printed, and going round the doors, introduce yourself to them, making it very clear that if there are any issues at all, that you can that they can contact you, and then and only then will people realize that you're genuine, and they can see the stark contrast between you and others who are all talk and no action.
Yeah.
Some of that.
I would just like to quote two things here. There's Ian Elliott who's saying, John, when this pandemic is over and the meetings are set up again, and are said all options need to be discussed, nothing can be left off the table. And Billy Mitchell, NI protocol states in Article 16.1, if there is an opposition such as Jeffrey Donaldson stated in the UK government has to revisit address the opposition, yes, actions speak louder than words. And look, I would like for people to take a screenshot right now of what Billy Mitchell had said, and in fact that we're going to focus on that there. And I've talked to Billy over the past few days, and Billy's a man who's great at research. And let's just say that if it wasn't for people like Billy and other people, well, look, we wouldn't be able to do exactly what it is that we're doing today. And look here, we've got somebody here that's obviously stumbled into the wrong stream. But we'll pop them up and we'll have a challenge. So when am I going to stand for election? I assume that it's Gerald or I don't know, Gerard. I don't know. Anyway, Gerald, let's just call you that. When are you going to stand for election, John, or have you previously? Look, no, I'm not going to stand for election. I think that my time and effort is best served here. And look, I would appeal to you, Gerard, is that, if it is that you support Sinn Féin, I don't know why you do or not, or if you support, say, the SDLP or some of those, do you know those pretend nationalist parties that want to give their, I'm a nationalist. Nationalism is about keeping your country, not giving it away to the EU. Now, maybe what it is that you don't like the EU too. And if it is that you don't like the EU, well, then you need to come and stand with us. You need to be helping us. You need to be persuading your community to come and stand on our side. And you know something? Wouldn't it be fun if the British Unionist people of Northern Ireland could save people like you from your leaders? What does it say in the proclamation? It says that it talks about the infeasible right of the Irish people to be sovereign and have ownership of the land. How's that going for you? If you're Irish in Ireland anymore, what are you being called? You're being called far right. You're being called fascist. You're not allowed to wave an Irish flag. What they do is they orchestrate Antifa and they set Antifa upon you if you say that you're Irish. Where's Sinn Féin taking the people of Ireland? They're taking them to what was it all for, Gerard? What was it all for if your leaders are selling you out right now? The same as our leaders seemingly are doing this here. This is the way that it is. But look, you're welcome. Feel free to comment and we'll show your comments to the people. Anyway, over to you, Stephen.
Yeah, Gerald, it is very strange, obviously, because Sinn Féin themselves were initially a Eurosceptic party, but you find that is a typical trait with a lot of parties. Sinn Féin obviously claiming to be an Irish nationalist party. We have the Scottish Nationalist Party who don't care anything at all for Scotland. They just want to be part of a larger union where they have less control and less say. We have the Conservative and Unionist Party, who are neither conservative, hold for conservative values, and they're certainly not British Unionist. They may be European Unionist, but they're certainly not British Unionist. We have the Liberal Democrats, who are neither liberal nor democratic. Plaid Cymru, the Party of Wales. They're not. They want to hand Wales over again to the EU. But now the protocol was mentioned, but it's also interesting when you even look at the European legislation, the European Convention of Human Rights, Protocol 1, Article 3, and that protects the right of people to vote in order to choose their legislation. That is undermining even the European Convention. We have got a situation in Northern Ireland on the 1st of January where you've got taxation without representation. You have no control whatsoever over the taxes imposed on you, and you have no representation. John, you're right. The question with the EU referendum posed to me in Bradford was the exact same as the one posed to you
in Northern Ireland. That's right.
In throughout the whole of Northern Ireland. So it was not a question about what do you believe the status of Northern Ireland should be. It was the UK, the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland.
That's right.
One question and one question alone.
Yeah. Stephen, I would just like to talk to Gerald, right? Look, I can't pronounce that there, so I'm not trying to be funny or anything else. So I will answer your question again. Here we go. So you won't answer my question, John. Are you going to stand for election or continue to sit on the social media ditch? Look, I've no political aspirations, not whatsoever, not whatsoever. I don't want to be getting money from Stormont or going to Westminster or anything else. I'm here trying to help the people of Northern Ireland, including the people from the nationalist and Catholic backgrounds. And I'm here trying to ensure that what I see as dictators in the European Union who have lost the run of themselves, I'm here to try to help people to wake up and to take back control for themselves. And you know something, I have nothing against Catholic people or nationalist people. And I mean that from the bottom of my heart. I have many Catholic friends, both here and in Dublin. And, you know, and those people could bear testament to the fact that I don't have a sectarian bone in my body. And I'm just saying to you, Gerald, I'm going to call you, and it's only because I can't pronounce that. And even, see, you're right to be Irish, you know, you're right to want to speak Irish, teach Irish, preach Irish, teach your children Irish, bring your children up that way. Do you know, look, I respect that right, and I would stand up for your right to be that person. And in fact, I like to say that your belief, your culture, your way of life, your lifestyle, and your lifestyle choices, the same as mine, they should be between you and me and our respective people that are our fellow enthusiasts. Do you know, it should never be implemented in a way, you know, what it is that you do, what it is that I do, should never be implemented in a way that it has any interference in anyone else's way of life. And this is why we're in the problems in Northern Ireland today, is because that the system is engineered in such a way that it keeps us fighting with each other. And meanwhile, we can't stand together and we can't stand against the corruption which is happening. And you know something, the only person to do with, you know, on the other side of the fence, so to speak, that I don't like, or the only people that I don't like, is Republicans, because Republicans continue to agitate against us. And, you know, maybe there's some people that has joined the Republican movement out of, I don't know, you know, out of the sense of thinking that they're trying to protect the community. But listen, it's you know, there was an opportunity in 1994 going forward to create real peace in this country. And what happened in 1996, whenever the IRA decided to plant a bomb in Canary Wharf in January of 1996, they done that in order to extract concessions from the British government. And, you know, that, my friend, became the appeasement process from there on in. And from that day to this, these people are continuing to use this process to extract concessions from the British government, which makes people like me and people like the other people on the screen here, which makes us feel that we are not being treated fairly. We're not being treated in a fair and equitable way, and we're not being treated in a way that we deserve, because we, you know, isn't like this diversity and all that goes with it, isn't it about everybody's the same and everybody should be treated with respect and dignity and equality and all of that? You see, that's where we come from. So I hope that answers you as to why I'm not going to be standing in any election. Now, am I ever going to say I never do this here? There may come a time, Stephen, where we'll have to put ourselves forward. We'll literally have to put ourselves forward to, you know, to stand against these politicians. Barbara Muskimmin, yes, I'll stop wasting the time. I will. I'll take that on board. And there you go. I thought I just had to answer that. So back to Ian Elliott again. And Stephen, if you'd just like to pick that up. So just tell people a wee bit about your party. Now, I'm going to say something here, is that at Restore, we're not aligned to any particular political party. And you know something? Up until lately, I have been saying consistently, and even though that the DUP have shafted us time and time again, even though that the UUP have shafted us time and time again, I say that all unionist parties have a part to play in Northern Ireland. But you see what it is, they are rendering themselves unworkable with. Do you understand? They are rendering themselves untrustworthy. They are rendering themselves as if that they take our vote and then we don't matter. So they're driving people, they're driving the electorate towards a place, towards a position whereby that how are we ever going to vote for you people again? So all we are doing as citizens right now, and this is our right, this is our absolute right, is trying to engage with fellow unionists, fellow British unionists in Northern Ireland to try to get people together to mend the disconnect that you people in the DUP and you people in the UUP have caused over the years. Because believe me, you have caused such a disconnect that many people have said to me and expressed these sentiments to me personally. They have said we'd be better off throwing in the towel, because you vote these people in and they do what they want anyway. So listen to what we're saying, listen and address what we are saying, because if you don't, people, I'm afraid what you will have done is you'll have destroyed British unionism, and you won't be replacing it with Irish. You won't be doing that, because they're already given over to the EU anyway. Their leaders are doing a good job of destroying them anyway. So anyway, back over to our mainstream chat. Okay, Jared, there we go. So look, we've given you all the time we're giving you. Maybe come on to the next stream and we'll take up some more time with you. So Stephen, over to you. Tell people about 5-star direct democracy. Tell them what you're going to be standing in Northern Ireland. You've registered in Northern Ireland. You're going to help independence get into place, and just keep it short, keep it sweet. We'd like to finish the stream shortly. I'll tell you why. Because if you go over, say, another 5 minutes, it makes the whole thing hard to download. So over to you. Go ahead.
Okay, yeah. So this is a genuine invite to all of the viewers, Gerald and folks. If you read our manifesto, we are 5dd.uk. For example, you will find, if you go into that, what is direct democracy. That will give you a very good explanation of what we stand for. We believe that representative democracy, what we've seen tonight, and unfortunately what we're seeing throughout the whole of the United Kingdom, where someone gets elected and then in the intervening 4 to 5 years, you have no say whatsoever. We believe that the electorate should have a say on an ongoing basis, continuous basis. That is by creating petitions, typically 5% on a particular issue, getting petitions, 5% of the electorate within a period of time, say 4 to 5 months. And that would then be confirmed to be a valid concern. It doesn't undermine anyone's rights. We believe, and we're actually working on a British Bill of Rights so that your rights are going to be protected. So the vulnerable will always be protected. It's not a case of two wolves and a sheep deciding who's going to be the dinner that evening. So if we have a petition set up, and if there is a binding referendum, so that is, again, the elected politicians are put to one side on an issue that they can't agree on, or that is coming from the citizens that elected representatives are not discussing. If 60% of the people vote and 60% majority, I'm using those around the world, it can vary from 60 to 65%, a super majority, then that motion is passed and it is legal. So it can work with elected politicians, as we're doing at the present time. But we have, for example, in the Northern Ireland Assembly, we've got petition of concerns when they can't agree and all they do is bury their head in the sand. Again, we would also like to see with the Northern Ireland Assembly, if they do raise a petition of concern, that automatically puts that question to the electorate, as I've described before, with a binding referendum. That could be, for example, what was seen in the past, with the Irish Language Act. It could be even issues like abortion, other issues where the electorate had absolutely no say whatsoever. We are a UK party. We will be fielding people in Northern Ireland next time around. And again, 5dd.uk. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Stephen. And Stephen, sorry to shut you off because it was me that actually took up much of the stream. But as you say, I had to do that in the way that I had to do that. And I hope it presented to people, I hope it presented to you, Stephen, in the way that we seen this here. You know, that was a lot of doing, a lot of evidence, a lot of digging, a lot of picking the words from what people were saying, just to show that whilst politicians are saying one thing, they're doing the complete opposite behind the backs of the British Unionist Northern Ireland people. So how the hell do you pronounce your name? No, not even going to get into that there. Anyway, here we go. Over to the people. Look, the stream has stayed consistent this evening. The numbers are absolutely great. I tell you what, I'll be working tirelessly now, as will the people behind the scenes, to look for more things that we can uncover for next week, because when you're uncovering stuff like this, it makes for an exciting stream, doesn't it? You know, and not just that, it brings people together and it wins the hearts and minds of people. Because do you know something? Right now, what we have is that we've a shared values. Because right for the people on the stream, for the people that comes on this stream with us, restore the United Kingdom. What it is, our shared values want to keep the United Kingdom together, and what we want to do is that we want to, restore politics back to where it should be, and restoring politics back to where it should be means this is that, why shouldn't we expect our politicians to work for the people, to work for the needs of our people, to fight meaningfully, proactively, to fight tirelessly in a way that defends, protects, and enhances the United Kingdom? Is that too much to ask? I honestly don't think it is. I don't think it is. Stephen, is that too much to ask, what we're asking for, for politicians to do their jobs?
Okay, if you just allow me one sentence, I'm just going to say one sentence. Brexit was all about taking back control. What about taking back control of decision-making in your local community from these self-serving politicians? Is that a bridge too far? I don't believe so. I don't believe so.
It's not. And again, what the whole stream is about this evening is that there's money, there's coin, there's money coming from areas, and and how this works, people, is that if this money is coming in, there are conditions attached to that money. And as I said on Monday evening, is that you have to do what that coin tells you to do. You have to do what that coin wants you to do. You have to drive in the direction that coin wants you to go. And the minute you stop operating in the way that coin dictates, that coin stops. Remember that. So you either take the coin or you don't take the coin. And as I said at the very start, I'm not saying to anybody that, because of the years of underinvestment in unionist communities, that they're not entitled to money, because they're absolutely entitled to money. But I have to say is that we can't find ourselves in a position whereby are you ready for it? Whereby that we are sold down the river. Who remembers that phrase? Sold down the river. We are closer to being sold down the river today in December 2020 than we've ever been in our history. So I would like I'm going to play a little video here by, and John was quite clear in saying he didn't know how to pronounce it. Yes, thanks very much, Ian, because that is the truth. I can't pronounce that. And I really appreciate that, Ian, that you're dealing with that guy for me. Because we mean him no harm is the truth of the matter, and he's very, very welcome here. He's welcome to come in and watch. So look, we're going to play a reminder. We're going to use Ben Habib to tell people, to send a message to our unionist politicians of what it is that they've become involved in, what it is that they're doing, what it is that they're, maybe they only see the coin, maybe they only see that £500 million, maybe they've attached themselves to that and they don't see what is about to happen. But we are telling them what is about to happen. And if we are wrong, please, please, please come on the screen. Come on Monday. Jeffrey, come talk to me. You know me. We've had several conversations in the past. And please come on and tell me that I am wrong, and show me that I'm wrong, and prove to me that I am wrong. Please do that, and please do that for the people, because these people are not second-class unionist voters, and we're not second-class British citizens. And we mean no people any harm, and we want peace. That's all we want. But We don't want peace at any price. Remember that. Peace at any price is a bridge too far. It's a bridge too far for the people, the security services, those people that put their lives in danger to serve and protect the entirety of Northern Ireland. And that's what, no matter where it was in the, some nationalists and Catholics, they think because the IRA have created this whole spin and swindle that the security services are entirely against them. Nonsense. They served and protected everybody. They put their lives on the line to serve and protect the people of the United Kingdom and Northern Ireland. And if it wasn't for those same security services, I don't know where we would have been. There was 3,000 odd deaths over a period of years, and goodness knows how many more deaths that there could have been. And something, and as I say, there are people from within communities in Northern Ireland that honestly that put themselves in front of aggression in order to serve and protect their communities. And something, their memories need to be respected also. Isn't it time that we, the people of Northern Ireland, that we were treated with respect, with the respect that we deserve? I don't have much more to say. Stephen, thanks very much for coming on.
Thank you very much. I look forward to your viewing on Monday, and I hope that it is a very positive response from the.
Yeah, we're hoping for the DUP to come on and discount what it is that we've just said, and I genuinely hope that they do. And and if they can show that we've been wrong to say what we are saying this evening, well, we're all ears. We need to learn that we're being wrong. We need to be shown how that we're wrong. We need to be shown the end game. We need to be shown that we're not second-class unionist voters, that we're not, any less Brexit voters than everybody else. I mean, that's what politicians are for. They're there to ensure that we are not treated in a way that is discriminatory, because that's what it is. So I'd like to play Ben Habib, and once Ben Habib stops, what we'll do is I'll tell you what we'll do. Everybody heard Ben Habib. We've been on for long enough, and what we're going to do is we're just going to play us out with a song that means a lot to us, ourselves, the people of the United Kingdom. And something, it's called Hands Across the Water. And this is to the newcomer on the screen. I ask you to listen to this song because this is a great British patriot song from Northern Ireland. And what it does is it speaks about the relationship with people, down throughout the centuries, the relationship that we have with people right across the United Kingdom. And Britishness, the United Kingdom, it's a great concept. And something, I'm here to expand on the benefits of remaining part of the United Kingdom. And because the Conservative Party right now have they've given up. Well, look, let's not blame the British people right throughout the United Kingdom. So thanks for coming on. Thanks for coming on, Stephen.
Thank you, John.
Here we go.
Thank you for all the viewers as well. Thank you.
Thanks very much.
Just across the Irish Sea stirs a heart of loyalty, raising honor and dignity, drives a will to keep us British free. Not alone are we on this journey, for in a land just across the sea is a hand that reaches out in friendship, and a bond that's lasted centuries. And as hands cross the water, reaching out for you and me, for Queen Ulster and for Scotland, help to keep our loyal people free. Let the cry be no surrender, let no one doubt our loyalty, reaching out to the brave red hand the hand across the sea. Cross the water, reaching out for you and me, for Queen and Ulster and for Scotland, help to keep our loyal people free. Let the cry be no surrender, let no one doubt our loyalty. Reaching out to the brave red hand of Ulster is a hand across the sea. Just across the Irish Sea stirs a heart of loyalty, raising honor and dignity. Drive the will to keep us British free. Not alone, we on this journey, for in a land just across the sea is a hand that reaches out in friendship, is the hand across the sea, is the hand across the sea.